Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Posers. My name is Huang, and today I'm joined by my co host Anna, and we're going to be reviewing the newest film we had the opportunity to see this week, Mack and Rita, starring Elizabeth Lail, Diane Keaton, and Taylor Page. So, a little bit about this film. The film is essentially about a 30-year-old writer who spends a wild weekend in Palm Springs and wakes up to find she is magically transformed into her 70-year-old self. Now, it's a very simple plot, and it's honestly a really nice time in the theater. So we're just going to kick it off into our first reactions. Let's start with you, Anna. What do you think of Mac and Rita?
So this movie definitely wasn't on my radar. Literally, the first time I heard about this film was when we got the email that this movie was going to be available in fine arts. So I was like, okay, let's see what's this about. So yes, as one said, it is a very simple story. It is a little bit predictable at times. And when the film started, like the first act, it was kind of slow, but it kind of picked itself up by the second act, and I found myself laughing at some of the jokes that they were doing and some goofy stuff that was happening on the film. I really liked the cast. I think that was like my favorite part of the whole film, the cast, the ladies. I would really like to wine and dine with these gals. They looked like they were having a pretty fun time. Some of the jokes, they were kind of quirky and corny, but you know what? I vibed it. I vibed with it. There were some shout outs that we were definitely surprised, right, Juan?
Oh, absolutely. The shout out for the Bad Bunny plotline reference, the fact that he ended up being in this plot in a way was kind of amazing. That was, I think, one of the moments where we were just like, wait,
It
what?
was.
This film is wild. I'm here for this. The first thing I knew about this movie was I watched the trailer, and my first reaction was, this is the 13 going on 30 sequel I didn't know existed and I didn't know I needed, probably called 30 going on 70. But honestly, I had a nice time with this film. I thought it was fun. I was really just, you don't have to think about a lot with this film. You just have to enjoy what's going on the screen. We saw the poster when we got there, and both of our reactions, I remember this so well. We both looked at the poster and we saw Diane Keaton's outfit, and we were like, wait, why does she kind of look like Jeffree Star with those boots on? Like, it, it looks so weird to me. I'm like, these boots do not belong on Diane Keaton. She kind of looks like Jeffree Star right now.
Mama didn't pass the vibe check on that one, okay?
No, the fit
What?
check was not approved.
It was not a pro. I was like, what is this?
And speaking of which, the cast, I think the cast is what really sells this film. There are a lot of recognizable faces. Again, Diane Keaton, you have Taylor Page from Zola as Carla, who I think did a really good job in this role. Her role itself is so one dimensional that the reason it works is because of her charisma and personality. I also really liked, like you said, the wine group that had Loretta Devine, Lois Smith, Wendy Malick. I thought they were a lot of fun. There's even Simon Rex is in this film. Dustin Milligan, who Schitt's Creek fans will remember him as Ted Mullins. Like, this is a really good cast that had a lot of recognizable people, and they all were just so game for it that it was an entertaining time.
Yeah, going back to the friend, like the best friend character, I wish they could at least done a little bit more with that, because even though it was like one dimensional, it just felt that it needed more to of the character, because yes, she was about to get married, but we didn't get a whole lot of that plot line. It was more the main character, and like the subplot was like just there.
Mhm.
Like her character was just there to fill in some gaps, and it really, we feel it in the movie. And I wish it could have been done more. And also, talking about filling in the gaps, we also have this love interest in the movie that honestly I just didn't bought, like their romance. And at the third act, by the end of the film, you're like, oh, well, that happened.
That took a twist.
That's a good twist, you know. At least they're happy together, but okay.
And that's the thing. What you said is technically not a spoiler. You can guess that from this
Mhm.
movie. I think this film is as predictable and formulaic as a Hallmark film. And a lot of people will say that's a bad thing. In my case, I don't think it's a bad thing. Some of those films you can really enjoy. You pass the time, and you know what? Maybe you won't remember it at the end of your 2022 best films of the year list, but you had a nice time watching it, and sometimes that's enough. I agree with you about Taylor Page's character. I really wish they would have used her more, especially since she was there to help out Mac and only there to help out Mac rather than focusing on the fact that this was happening during her wedding weekend and that this was also her time and they didn't really make it much about her. I feel like if it would have been leading up to the wedding, that would have been better. But because it's during that weekend, you have like two big plots at
Yeah.
the same time and they just clash a little too much.
Yeah.
One's going to get less attention. And unfortunately, it was Taylor Page's. But whenever she was on screen, she brought the charisma. She made sure you saw her on screen. I became a fan after Zola. We saw Zola together. That was a fun time. And we knew in that moment, like, she's going places. She is going to go very far in this industry. And seeing her in this film, that confirms my theory yet again that she's going to go very far. And I think a role like that would really work. Even she could have even been Mac when you think about it.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
she
she
would have
has the
killed it as Mac
charisma. She
too.
has the charisma to be the main character. Again, I just feel that they could have used her more in the film because it felt that her plot line was just like, oh yeah, we need a problem with the film. There has to be a problem so the main character can analyze what she has done and reflect her past actions, and that was just it. And we didn't even get to see the wedding or anything. Like,
That's why that was why it's like very Hallmark. At least Hallmark shows the wedding. But here
yeah.
I agree that she was there to be the moment of realization and she was just there to help her out. And yeah, you appreciated the friendship between the two, but you're also like, I would want to see more of these characters
Yeah,
just
yeah,
interacting. And even the two best friends that she has, her other two bridesmaids, they felt like a shorter version of the friends from Legally Blonde that, they have some funny moments, some funny, reactions to things and one or two funny lines, but you don't see them as much because they're not as well developed because the film, while it's not about them, they're sometimes just there. And I felt like sometimes the film wanted Taylor Page to just be there.
yeah. Honestly, the ones that like literally stole the spotlight were more the old ladies
Yes.
rather than the other friends.
Yeah, the older friends stole the show from the younger cast, and I think that's quite impressive. Because again, they're familiar faces. You know these faces. You've seen them in other films before,
Mhm.
and they really are hilarious. I would have that very much gave me the vibe of this film came out a while back ago called Book Club,
Oh
where
yeah, yeah,
it gave me that vibe where I would have liked to have seen a spin-off of them and their wine club and what they end up doing like on a wild adventure themselves. Like if they went back in time and they go 70 to 30, that would have been cool.
yeah.
I'm getting up
And
sequel ideas. Damn, like that's a great sequel
pick
idea.
it up, Hollywood, pick it up.
Credit me. Credit me.
And I don't know about you, Juan, but I found myself relating to the main character at times when she was feeling old and her back pains and, and
Oh,
her worries. I was like, damn, am I really an old soul right now?
and she's like, let's go out, let's go out. I'll go home. I'm just like, damn. Especially after the pandemic, it's very much like, wow, I have turned into this character. I am now an older person in a young person's body.
Yeah. And honestly, I saw myself more in like her older version, like her fit checks from when she was like
Yeah, you were loving
70,
the fits.
rather than when she was 30. I was like, I will wear this. I will totally wear that.
You were there getting outfit ideas. You had the Pinterest app out. You were just like, let me just take some inspiration real quick.
let me just write it down. I already have those pants in my closet.
Also, when she got into the tanning bed, I'm not gonna lie, it gave me Final Destination 3. I was just like, I've seen this film before, and I didn't like the ending.
I think everybody has some PTSD with Final
I think Final
Destination.
Destination traumatized an entire generation. You're behind a
So
truck, you think of that film. When you're in a tanning bed, you think of that film. That's the impact.
yeah, and it was kind of quirky, but I liked it. It was part of the charm.
Yeah, it very much has a charm to it, like a film from the 2000s, and I really enjoyed that. But I also really like what this film had to say about enjoying your youth. You know, a lot of younger people now, here I am saying a lot of younger people now, but I'm still young, like I learned from this movie. But a lot of younger people now feel that they need to find success right away and do everything while they're young, because or else they're a failure. And it's not the case. Before, some of us, myself included, wished that we would want to be older because that's when things would get better. And now some of us would give anything to just go back in time and, appreciate our youth and just enjoy it while it lasted. Because that Technicolor spectrum changed when we hit adulthood rather than when we were kids. And the film is just basically telling you to slow down, enjoy things, and enjoy the people around you before you lose them because you lost sight of them. And I think that's something the current generation needs to hear. I honestly would rewatch this film. I thought it was a really great time. This is definitely something that you could go to the theater and watch it with your mom, have a couple of really good laughs, and enjoy yourselves. This is like a 95-minute movie, and it felt like a 95-minute movie. The 90-minute movies, they're coming back. They can tell
Yeah.
a good story in 90 minutes. And even though I felt this film could have used a little more time to develop certain things, what we got, I thought, worked enough.
Yeah, it is a pretty straightforward story about basically acceptance and how we see her character like accept herself along the way. And I really like the introspect that this character has. Like, damn, I really wish I could have been older. And when she got older, it's like, no, I want to go back and enjoy my youth. And I really like, the reflection that this character had along the way. Yes, I wish this movie could have a little bit more time so it could develop some plot points that the film had, but nevertheless, it's just a simple story that it was just made to entertain you in those like 95 minutes that the movie has.
Overall, I think we can both agree that while Mack and Rita is very much a predictable film, it's also a charming film that is, reminiscent of 13 Going on 30 and Freaky Friday. It's a simple story that, while the concept is fun to explore, felt a bit rushed. And, while not every joke lands, the fabulous cast really makes this work by bringing their delightful charm to it. And by the end of it, like you said, you do want to hang out with, for example, the wine group and just enjoy life and enjoy the time we have. Because if we don't, it's going to slip away from us and we won't even realize it, because that's what our youth is for. So that is our review of Mac and Rita. Thank you so much for watching. You can catch this film in theaters in Puerto Rico on August 11th in Fine Arts. And in the United States, this film will be coming out on Friday. So you should check your local listings. And I definitely think that this is Film Poser approved for a
Yeah.
certain audience. If you're the demographic after seeing the trailer, you're probably going to enjoy this. It's very likely. It's a solid 3.5 star film, and those are always great
Yeah,
from time to time.
it's a solid movie. I gave it 3.
3.5.
Yeah.
You don't have to take our word for it. You can check it out in the theaters and find out for yourselves and see where you land on the spectrum. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you can hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on the social medias: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all over at Film Posers. And remember, we're all film posers. Bye.
Bye.